Welcome to the Beanstalk. I'm the giant at the top. You can call me Bean. And today I got another Remnant 2 build video for you, and I'm calling this one my Twin Moon build. If you've been around my channel for a while, hopefully you've noticed that I try to give my builds a sense of character or theme, and this one is the biggest success by far in that regard. It's both a support and a DPS build with interesting synergies, and it's all based on the Greek goddess of the moon, Artemis. She was a supernaturally gifted archer known for running with wild animals and is often depicted with deer and hunting dogs in statues and paintings. And I should say here that there is an alternative version of this build that is optimized for damage with Handler in the primary and Hunter in the secondary slot using Hunter's Focus. That is also a great combo, and the Bonded Revive is a very strong support perk, but I wanted more versatility in the support role, so I went with Alchemist primary and Handler secondary. But I want to start this build breakdown with the red doe staff because the entire build started there. This thing attacks like a normal staff until it has done enough damage and starts to glow. When it does, the next charge attack will activate its mod Lifeline, which does damage to enemies but regenerates 10% health for allies standing in its path. I think this mod looks really cool, but Lifeline is not a reliable way to heal allies. However, it got me thinking, and 1-2 skip a few. Now the whole build is centered around doing damage to enemies and healing allies at the same time. Next I equip the Crescent Moon Bow, which most people already know is the strongest bow in the game. Its fantastic mod, Moonlight Barrage, increases fire rate, reload speed, and allows you to fire 2 arrows at once with charged shots, and crucially, it heals you with 5% health every hit. I threw the Supercharger Mutator on there for the crit chance and DPS increase. This is about the time I decided to make this build about Artemis, and since she's an archer, I had to put the Sorrow in the pistol slot, and I was thrilled when I realized that Eulogy also heals while doing damage. This fantastic mod recalls fired bolts, doing damage on the path back, and also healing 2% of max HP per bolt recalled. It can even overfill the Sorrow, so that on your next round you have 10 bolts instead of 5, which is a great DPS increase. I equipped the Spirit Healer Mutator, which regenerates 5% health over 5 seconds for every 300 mod power spent, and at level 10, it will heal allies for 50% of the primary effect as long as they are within 15 meters when activated. I then equipped the Full Moon Circlet, which grants 20% bonus damage when health is full, and gives 3% lifesteal based on damage dealt. I'm going to continue this thought process and talk about archetypes, and then I'll come back to rings. I put Alchemist in the prime slot for its prime perk Spirited, which allows you to have 4 concoction buffs active at once. Because Moonlight Barrage heals based on max health and the Full Moon Circlet heals based on damage, I'm able to augment both of these with Mudtooth's Tonic, which increases health by 25 points, and the Sanguine Vapor, which grants 3.5% lifesteal for ranged and melee attacks. It increases damage received by 10%, so next I drank a Bark Extract, which increases armor by 30 points, and last I drank a Xenoplasm for the 10% skill cooldown. The Alchemist archetype also grants 25% bonus all damage and applies a random buff to the whole team whenever you use a relic. If the team I'm on has a medic, then I use the skill Frenzy Dust to increase the attack speed of the entire team. If I am the only healer, then I will use Lifelink, which revives down teammates and provides a 7 HP regen per second. Handler is in the second slot, not only because Artemis was often seen with dogs, but also because the Alchemist and Handler combo are very versatile for support builds. I really like its attack dog skill, which boosts damage by 20% for allies within a 20-meter range. Now back to rings. Since Artemis was a goddess, I had to use the Burden of the Divine, which decreases damage dealt by 10%, but allows 50% of self-healing to apply to all allies, which fits nicely into the build to say the least. Next I have the Archer's Crest, which allows me to fire max damage arrows faster. Next the Dran Scavenger Ring, which boosts all damage by 8% and heals for 15% of max HP. And last I have the Probability Cord as a damage multiplier, which will in turn help with healing and DPS. For the relic, I'm using a Tranquil Heart with ranged crit chance, ranged damage, and weak spot damage relic shards slotted. For armor, I'm using the Elder Headdress, the Zealot's Overcoat, and the Labyrinth Boots and Gauntlets. But what I'm wearing is not optimal. It's just the best look I could get with what I had. But I would love it if we could get skins for the armor like we had in Remnant 1. And finally, traits. I maxed out Triage, Regrowth, Fortify, Vigor, Endurance, Bloodstream, and Siphoner. And then I put 6 points in the Spirit and 5 in the Swiftness and Fitness so the build could feel more nimble. And that's the build. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying your holidays and being kind to each other. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe so I can continue to grow the channel, because I have a feeling we're just getting started. That's going to do it for the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Later, gamers.